Why do we sit here being silent, watching our leaders turn into tyrants? Have they forgotten which side they're fighting for? Checks and balances set aside and rule of laws, youths and ours, and Constitution openly ignored. Man, I'm not okay. Think we are being played. Is it time for right and left to join a greater cause? Man, I'm not okay. The rich claim to be victimized just to attack the marginalized. Is 1% really worth more than all the sick and poor? Always preaching about fellowship while planning their dictatorship. Now we've seen how all of this plays out before. Man, I'm not okay. Think we are being played. Time for you and I to join our country's call. Man, I'm not okay. Ever wonder all the mystery, why they whitewash our history, keep dividing is their plan? All in all, such a scam. Algorithm very sly, only used to spread the lies. Politicians know well, hate is simple to upsell. Man, I'm not okay. Think we are being played. Time for you and I to join our country's call.
We are not okay. America is not okay, and we all know that. Former Congressman Joe Walsh, this is The Social Contract with Joe Walsh. Let's figure out how to get okay together. Hey, I am glad it's Friday. Hey, what do you call someone? Serious question. What do you call someone who is at war with our elections process? What do you call someone like that? What do you call someone who tries to delegitimize America's elections? What do you call someone who tries to sow distrust in our elections? What do you call somebody who fucks with our elections? What do you call somebody who tries to rig our elections? What do you call somebody who tries to steal our elections? What do you call someone who attacks our elections? What do you call that person? What do you call someone who refuses to accept the results of our elections? What do you call that person? Like, imagine a foreign leader. I don't know, Putin. Imagine a foreign leader who, an unfriendly foreign leader, who declared war on America's elections. And every 2 to 4 years, man, they attacked our elections process. They put out a bunch of bullshit. They tried to get people not to have faith and trust in our elections. They tried to fuck with how votes are counted. They attacked the process. They tried to delegitimize the elections process. They tried to fuck with the outcome. Like they tried to cause chaos and mayhem on America's streets to screw with our elections. What would you call a foreign leader who did that? What would you call a foreign leader who was at war with our elections? Our enemy, right? An enemy of this country. Somebody who attacked our elections repeatedly would be our enemy, would be an enemy of this country. I mean, when you think about it this Friday, when you think about it, what are our elections? I mean, we've got this thing called a democracy, a representative democracy, and it's fragile right now, right? The state of our democracy. Our elections, when you think about it, the elections we have every 2 or 4 years in this country, man, they're the link. They are the heartbeat of our democracy, right? Every 2 years, every 4 years, the people, it's our day. The people go out and have their say. The people go out and we choose the people who will represent us. That is the very basic essence of a democracy, right? The people choose the representatives. It's the heartbeat of a democracy. Without that, without elections, without the people choosing who represents them, a democracy dies. Elections are the heartbeat of a democracy. You destroy our elections, you end our elections, you delegitimize our elections, you get us to the point where we don't have free and fair elections, you kill our democracy. Our democracy can't live. You follow me? Which is why I call elections the heartbeat of a democracy. Our democracy can't live without elections. Without elections, gang, it ain't a democracy. So, someone who is at war against our elections, who would kill our democracy, is our fucking enemy, is an enemy of this country. Plain and simple. Now, I tend to just say what I believe. Gets me in trouble sometimes. And I have been saying now for a while that Donald Trump is an enemy of this country. Donald Trump is America's enemy. The guy sitting in the White House right now, it's an odd thing to say. In many ways, it's a horrible thing to say. It's such an unfortunate thing to say. Our current president is this country's enemy. Now, I believe it. I have a lot of reasons for saying that, but I'm just going to get to one this morning. Donald Trump is an enemy of this country. We have a president who is our enemy. And all you got to do is look at where I started the show. Donald Trump has been at war against our elections process for the past 10 years. Donald Trump has declared war on our elections. Donald Trump, every 2 to 4 years since 2016, attacks our elections process. He tries to delegitimize our elections. He does whatever he can do to sow distrust in our elections process. He doesn't accept the results of our elections when he and his side don't win. My God. He refused to accept an election loss in 2020 and then committed crimes trying to overthrow an American election. He's our fucking enemy. He's this country's enemy. He's trying to stop the heartbeat of this thing. He's trying to kill our democracy. He's attacking our elections. He's been doing it since 2016, and it's getting worse and worse and worse, and he's amping it up this year. He's at war with our midterms. What we found out yesterday is just the latest. Keith, you got that headline? Pro-Trump activists right now are coordinating with the Trump White House on a great plan to declare a national emergency to enable Trump to nationalize our elections and take over the elections process. Keep that up for a sec, Keith. So Trump is trying to, this is just part of his attack on our elections, his war on America's elections. He's trying to take over our elections this year. He's trying to take over the entire elections process for these midterms, all based on some crazy 2020 stolen election conspiracy lie that China massively interfered with the 2020 election, enabling Joe Biden to win. Thanks, Keith. Donald Trump let me back up. The current president of the United States right now is working on a plan to try to nationalize our elections, to take over our elections process. Again, just sit back for a moment before you start thinking about, oh my God, can he do that? Oh my God, will he do that? How would that work, Joe? Just before you get into all of that, just think for a moment. Just think for a moment. The current president of the United States right now is working on a plan to take over our elections process. What do you call someone who would do that? What do you call someone who would do that? You talk about a full frontal attack on the heartbeat of this democracy. What do you call someone who would do that? That's right. Again, repeat after me. He's our enemy. Trump's our enemy. He's working on a plan to declare some fake fraudulent bullshit national emergency to take over our elections. I don't know where you sit. I don't know where you stand. But right now, a president of the United States doing that right now, that's my fucking enemy. Our elections are our elections. I got a guy in the White House, no better than Putin, trying to fuck with our elections. And this is just part of what he's doing. This broke yesterday, that he's working on this plan to declare a national emergency, all on some fucking crazy 2020 stolen election conspiracy with China to take over our elections. It's just the latest. I don't know, like, this shouldn't be hard for anybody to grasp. The current president of the United States is dying for trying to create, inciting violence, mayhem, and chaos on our streets. Trump wants all of that because he wants to fuck with our elections. He wants to invoke the Insurrection Act, declare martial law, whatever. He's the one doing it. He's the one. Again, back up. Just think about it. The current president of the United States is doing whatever he can to incite violence in this country. What would you call someone who does that? This is all just part of his plan. He came out in his State of the Union and he said to the American people in his State of the Union, no Democrat has ever been elected without cheating. The current president of the United States said that to the country and the world. Now, that is an out and out lie, but that's a fucking dangerous lie. That's an attack on our elections. What's he doing, man? Right. We know what he's doing. He's done it before, man. He's laying the seeds, baby. He's planting the seeds. He's laying the groundwork, baby. Right? So that when he loses, if he and Republicans lose this year, he'll completely delegitimize the election. This is what he did in 2020, which fucking got us January 6th. A violent insurrection to try to overthrow the election. He's doing the same thing here. He is our enemy. Man, these are our elections. Without these elections, without our elections, our democracy dies. He's trying to kill our democracy, my democracy, your democracy. He's our fucking enemy. I get a lot of shit from people for saying that. CNN, MSN now, they don't like me on anymore because I'll say that. I'm willing to entertain other thoughts. But you just answer that question. What do you call someone who's trying to destroy our elections? What do you call that person? Tell you where I sit. That guy's my enemy. That guy's an enemy of this country. And so we're in this really weird, ugly, sad, scary place where the current president is an enemy of the country he's serving. What does that mean? Well, that means he's got to be defeated. He's got to be taken out. He's got to be removed. He's got to be called out. He's got to be condemned. He's got to be sued. Everything. He's our enemy. And I just think, right, life's too short. If you would just cut to that chase and just speak the truth, it's liberating. And I know so many people in this moment have such a hard time speaking the truth. I get it, right? Because this is like, we ain't never been here. This is like unprecedented shit, unprecedented stuff. Our current president is an enemy of this country. That's a really tough thing to say. But it's true. You just look at his war against our elections that he's been engaged in for a long time, and he's amping. I don't know what else you call him. And once you can accept that truth and speak the truth that Donald Trump is our enemy, Donald Trump is America's enemy. Repeat after me. Donald Trump is America's enemy. Once you can verbalize that truth and publicly speak that truth, it will be much easier for all of us to defeat who and what he is, to destroy who and what he is, to be done with who and what he is. We can't do any of that if we don't have the courage to speak the truth. And by the way, I'm only talking about what Trump's doing to our elections. That in and of itself makes him our enemy. Man, we don't have time for me to go through everything else. We don't have time for me to go through his attack on all of our founding principles. I'll stop right there. Hey, I am really pleased to introduce a guest this Friday. Somebody whose show I've been on a whole bunch, and we both came up with the idea, doggone it, Brian, you need to come on my show. There he is, Brian Shapiro, everybody. Hello, my friend. Brian is a great radio talk show host. He's in Vegas. His show is Pushing the Limits on KSHP, the radio stations. That's Help Me, Brian. That's 1400 AM, 107 FM in Vegas every day, Monday to Friday, 12 to 2 p.m. Pacific time. Brian, welcome, my friend.
Joe, it's great to see you. You've been doing my show for years, and it's an honor to finally be on your podcast. I'm a big fan of yours, and I think you're one of the best political commentators around. So
how did, because Brian, for folks who don't know both you and I, we ain't like soulmates when it comes to policy. And there was a day when you and I would beat up on each other. How did do you remember how we began a relationship?
Many, many years ago, I saw that you once were a staunch Trump supporter,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden you flipped. And I didn't know you very well. I saw
Yeah.
you doing all the network shows, and I said, "Who the hell is this guy?" Now all of a sudden, after being a staunch Trump supporter, you're flipping and you're speaking against Trump. I want to see if this guy is full of shit or if he's for real. So I had my producer reach out, and you did my show. And after that first conversation we had, and this has had to be at least 4 or 5 years ago, I
Yeah.
think. And after that first conversation, I said, I think this guy is genuine. I don't think he's doing this to get
But
airtime
it
or
took
to
it
benefit.
it took me a few appearances on your show before that really baked in.
Yeah, but I sense that you were a genuine guy and that you truly were concerned with where Trump was leading the
Yeah.
country. I did question you hard on some of your past tweets.
Yeah.
You owned it, you apologized, and you did what any decent human being would do. And the more I've gotten to know you, I've realized what a decent, good man you are, and how much you care about this country as I do. And I've really grown to appreciate you for that. And I mean, heck, I mean,
Right.
I wish there were more people like you out there. Unfortunately, there are not. So
No,
yeah,
right back
that's
at
kind
you,
of
my
how we met.
friend.
Yep.
Right back at you,
Yep.
my friend. By the way, the cool thing about talk radio these days, Brian's got his show in Vegas every day, Monday
Mhm.
through Friday, 12 to 2 Pacific time, on KSHP.
Mhm.
Listen to and watch the show. Brian, I'm an old talk radio guy. You're still a talk
Yep.
radio guy. The cool thing about talk radio right now is you do your show every day. People around the country can listen to you because of this technology. What's it like? And by the way, how would you describe yourself politically?
Certainly left leaning when it comes to social issues. I am, and I have always been a registered independent. I didn't vote for Obama, not because I don't respect him. I didn't vote for Hillary Clinton, but because I respected Mitt Romney and John McCain as well. I made a mistake, a big one in 2016. I didn't vote for Trump, but I also didn't vote for Hillary. I said I would never make that same mistake again, especially if
Amen.
there's a MAGA Republican running on the other side. But yeah, I would say socially, absolutely left leaning. Especially today, I don't think I have much of anything in common with Republicans,
Yeah.
but I have my frustrations with Democrats also. But yeah,
Well,
definitely left leaning independent.
no, and Bri, that's when I tell people about you, that's one
Mhm.
thing I always say is you are independent,
Yep.
and you, like me, you do a great job of
Thank
speaking
you.
across the divide and having conversations with everybody. What's it like right now, though, doing your show in this environment with this son of a bitch in the White
Oh,
House?
Joe, it's so frustrating, stressful. I did an interview yesterday with a guy running for office for Congress out of Texas, a Republican, who still thinks the 2020 election was stolen. You would have gone crazy on this
You
guy.
you
And I did.
interviewed him.
Yeah,
How'd
yesterday
that
it's like
go?
not good for him. He started to be very condescending to me. It's on my YouTube page. And then I just said, "You're an imbecile. I mean, you don't live in reality." I asked him, "Do you have any evidence, widespread voter fraud evidence, that the 2020 election was stolen?" He says, "Well, no, that's up to the investigators." I said, "Then why are you making that claim then if you can't even give me any evidence?" I mean, he was a complete idiot. So to answer your question, extremely stressful at times. You and I both, try to call out the truth. And I
Yeah.
agree with everything you said there in your monologue, by the way. It's a great monologue.
Do you think, Brian,
But
do you
yeah,
think but be straight with me. I've been on this tear now for a while. I think Donald Trump is this country's enemy. Is that too harsh?
no, he called us the enemy within. He's the enemy within. This is a guy who's threatened our democracy. This is a guy who's attacked Gold Star families, women of color. This is a guy who literally has attacked anybody and everything that disagrees with him. And we need to call him out for what he is. He only cares about himself. He certainly doesn't care about the American people. He only cares about enriching himself
Yeah.
and maybe his immediate friends and family. So you want to talk about an enemy? Yeah, I look at Donald Trump now as I look at evil dictators, and I never used to do that. I never used to call him a fascist. I used to get frustrated when people compared him to Adolf Hitler. Now, I'm not saying that Donald Trump is ready to kill 7 million Jews, but what I am saying is there are some similarities. There are some. He wants to be a dictator. You see what he's doing with threatening to take over Greenland and kidnapping leaders in other
Yeah.
countries. It's his way or the highway. If you ask him a challenging question, he wants your credentials thrown out. He wants you to, just he wants your license taken away. You see what the FCC is doing. Those are the actions and the behaviors of a dictator.
You and I come from different places politically. Because I come from MAGA and I got out of MAGA, I have a rule. I'll go after Trump with everything I've got. I'll go after my former Republican colleagues with everything I got. I'll go after all my former right-wing colleagues with everything I've got, all of his sycophants. I don't personally go after Trump voters because I used to be one, and I reach out to them every day trying to get them to see the light. You come from a different place, so that's just my job because I come
Yeah.
from there. When you deal with Trump voters and supporters, you'll get a little more critical and sometimes personal with them than I can, correct?
It depends on who I'm speaking to. For example, if I'm speaking to a Trump supporter who admits they made a mistake and or they admit that he's a really awful guy, and then they name me some policies that they don't like on the left, I could have a very civil conversation with them and still disagree with them. But it's the cultists. It's the people out there that say the election was stolen. It's the people out there that say, this is a kangaroo court with the 34 felonies and with the liable sexual abuse and all the other stuff, or January 6th, when they say that it was a tourist visit. Those are cultists. And those people are very ill informed, uneducated, sometimes bigots, sometimes just not good people. And I do call those people out. If you're willing to admit who Donald Trump is, which is a really bad guy who's done some really bad things in his life and he's damaging the country, if you're at least willing to start the conversation there, then I could have a reasonable conversation with you. But I've probably done Pierce Morgan like 20 times,
Ah,
and I've debated people like Benny Johnson, like Jack Posobiec,
yeah.
like Clay Travis. These are not good people, and they don't believe what they say. They only do it for clicks and money, and they're cultists. And I think they are very, very bad people. And I would use the term grifters.
Well, completely. And when it comes to what Benny Johnson, he does it for Russian money. He did it for Russian money
Yeah,
back in the day. That voice
yeah.
belongs to Brian Shapiro. He's one of the best out there in this business, the talk radio business. A must show in Vegas. It's called Pushing the Limits on KSHP, 1400 AM, 107.1 FM, every Monday through Friday, 12 to 2 p.m. Pacific time. Listen to Brian. It's great stuff because you do get kind of all sides. Bri, it's been a year and a month now with this fascist in the White House. The people you hear from, the people who call in, are you hearing any kind of minds changing a little? Because I'll imagine you
Yes.
get all kinds calling into your show.
I do. Every week, I usually get at least one person that calls in that says, Brian, I'm a Republican. I listen to your show every day, and I've had enough of Donald Trump. So I do get a lot of those calls, and they do happen. And there are still people that call into the show that are the cultists, like I mentioned, that make excuses for Donald Trump, that think his State of the Union address was like God. It was incredible. So I still get calls like that, which is fine. I also get a lot of people that call into the show that are very angry, very concerned, and they're upset, and it's their way of unleashing that stress and anger when they're able to call into the show and have the platform to speak out. Because I don't think a lot of shows that lean to the left, take calls. Certainly don't allow an audience to
Yeah.
do that. So I try to do that for everybody, but I also enjoy speaking to people that I disagree with. But when you have conversations with people that are either in office or running for office,
Yeah.
I mean, I couldn't believe it. A guy I was interviewing yesterday said that he didn't recall seeing anybody get injured on January 6th. He didn't
Yeah.
see any office. And I'm like, what country, what life, where are you living? I just don't understand how anybody can have the blinders on like some of these people. I just don't, Joe.
Coming from talk radio like I do, and I dig talk radio. I'd love to go back to
Yep.
talk radio one day. You and I are alike in that I wanted all calls from all comers. You and I
Mhm.
know a lot of people in the business, they'll screen their calls and they only want friendly calls, blah, blah. Brian Shapiro doesn't do that. Brian
I'm the opposite.
Shapiro, oh my God, you will always try to initiate conversations with
Yep.
anyone and everyone. That's why I think your show is such another reason why your show is such a great listen. I've been a Democrat, brother, for just over 9 months.
Yeah.
You and I slap each other about this every now and then because it's weird. If
Mhm.
you were to criticize the Democratic Party, the other party, because my former political party's gone, how would you constructively criticize the Democratic Party?
Where do I start? First of all, get rid of Chuck Schumer, get rid of these people that are utterly useless. That's number one. Bring in more of the young rising stars like the Tellericos of the world, like the Swalwells, like the Josh Shapiros. And I know Josh Shapiro's governor. I think he'll make a great president one day. That's number one. Number two, don't give the Republicans any red meat. Stop it with the transgender stuff. I have no problem with transgenders, but stop it with them playing in sports. I know it shouldn't be a top 10 issue, but Republicans have made it a top 10 issue. So let's stop that nonsense right then and now. The Ilhan Omars of the world and the Rashida Tlaibs. Listen, I had a lot of criticism for Marjorie Taylor Greene and Lauren Boebert when they were disrespectful to Joe Biden during his State of the Union. What's the point of Omar and Tlaib?
They shouldn't have gone, Brian. They just shouldn't have gone.
I agree. Joe, I've been saying that for weeks. Yeah. Don't go. We agree. And listen, I respect Al Green a great deal, but what are you trying to accomplish by bringing in a sign like that? No. We all know that the video was racist with Obama's comparing them to monkeys. It's horrible, right? What's the point of bringing in a sign like that? You're not going to accomplish anything. These are theatrics, okay? And I'm going to tell you what you should do if you regain power in the midterms. Do exactly what the Republicans have done. You want to question Hillary Clinton about the Epstein files? Well, you better do the same thing for Melania Trump, because I guarantee you Melania Trump was much closer to Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell than Hillary Clinton ever was. So if Republicans want to play this stupid game and it's charades, then you go ahead and you do the same thing. This is not when they go low, we go high. I love Michelle Obama, and I totally understand what she was trying to say. These are not the times that we are living in right now. If they want to go low, you can go low now as well. And hopefully the midterms, have a good turnaround. But you got to talk about kitchen table issues. And you have to also explain clearly, which I'm not sure Kamala Harris did as well as she could have, the threat that Donald Trump and MAGA Republicans are to this country.
Yeah, it's got to be, you and I have talked, it's got to be both. You should be able to talk about, we got to save democracy and meat costs too much. We should be able to talk about both. On the transgender issue, maybe you and I don't disagree. I come from the right where we love these culture wars because the Dems never fought the culture wars. I don't think the Dems, I think the Dems need to fight the culture war issues because like even that issue, Brian, when it comes to transgender Americans, most Americans are where the Democratic Party is. We love and embrace all God's children, be free, live the life you want to live, no discrimination against you. You should be able to serve in the military. When it comes to athletic competition, we just got to make sure the athletic competition's fair, period. That's where most Americans are, whereas my former party says it's a mental illness and it should be abolished. I mean,
now there's a lot of Republicans.
They're afraid to fight on these social culture.
There are a lot of Republicans out there that think they're transgender experts. They think they're infectious disease experts. They think they're experts in all these fields. I can tell you that there are less than 10 transgenders that are in Division I college sports. Less than 10.
But so you're right. Coming from the right-wing talk, we would take that 10 and we would turn it into 10 million. And the right's brilliant at doing that.
Look at Riley Gaines. Listen, I'm going to be completely honest with you. I've debated her before. I have zero respect for her. Here's why. The only reason why we know who Riley Gaines is not because she was a good swimmer. It's because she attacks transgenders 24/7. And she makes the same speech around the country, making tons of money. Okay. She doesn't talk about real women's issues. She doesn't talk about the Epstein files. She doesn't talk about the fact that Donald Trump's name is in there thousands of times. And I mentioned that and I said that to her. And I said, why don't you talk about these issues that are far more prevalent and a bigger threat to women than transgenders? Listen, I'm glad you got that transgender volleyball player, off the team. That's great.
Did she answer your question?
No, she just attacked me and laughed, and then Pierce Morgan defended her, which, of course, he thinks this transgender issue is more important than the economy. I mean, it's just it's ridiculous.
Last quick one. Yeah. In a few sentences or words or whatever, describe Trump's State of the Union to me.
Bullshit, full of lies, lie after lie after lie. Yeah, I mean, that's really what it was all about. And I think it was just about appeasing the base. But Joe, here's my take on it, right? This was more important for Republicans than Democrats. Why? because Donald Trump's approval ratings are in the toilet. So he had to convince registered independents, which he's polling at around 26%.
Yeah.
He had to convince them to come to his side. There's no way he did that. Now, that was a good speech for his base, but it wasn't a good speech for America. It wasn't a good speech for independents that are thinking, who should I vote for? So I think it's a loss for Republicans. I don't think he got anybody or gained anybody other than his base, really, in my opinion.
It's been maybe 13, 14, 15 minutes here, but I think everybody listening right now can see why this knucklehead is one of my favorite radio talkers out there. Brian Shapiro, guys. The show is pushing the limits. It's out of Vegas, 12 to 2 p.m. Pacific time every single day on KSHP. 1400 AM, 107.1 FM. Bri, for people around the country, where do they go to listen?
Thank you, Joe. So the best place to listen is on my YouTube and Facebook pages. YouTube is at PTL Radio Show. Facebook
Pushing the Limits, PTL.
That's right. Yep, at PTL Radio Show. Facebook is the Pushing the Limits Facebook page. My website is pushingthelimits.live. And Joe, if I could say one other thing, I so respect and appreciate you. And I know there's probably a lot of people on the right that don't like you for speaking out.
Yeah.
But as I've said before, and I've always said about you on and off the air, I know that you're a really good man. You care about this country. You're a good family man. And you're not doing this for you.
Well,
you know, you're doing this for the country, and you're doing this because you care. And I have so much respect for you. I always have.
Well, you can do me, Brian Shapiro, you can do me one more thing, because I clearly didn't do what I did for the money, because I'm penniless right now, and I've been penniless for a while. So the day may come where I need to knock on your door, and Bri, I'll sweep the floors in your studio. I'll take callers in your studio. You may have to put me on part-time, big boy.
I think we would make a good team, Joe. So anytime, my friend. And, you know, it's crazy. I've never even seen Joe in person yet. We got to grab a beer.
We have not met. That's got to change within a couple months, and it will.
But I appreciate every single time. You never say no. You've always done my show for years. You've given me your time, which I greatly appreciate. So anything you need from me, brother, I'm here for you. And I really do appreciate you having me on your podcast, because I've been watching your podcast for a long time as well. You have some great conversations.
Thank you.
Keep up the great work, my friend. I love you, pal, and
Brian,
keep it up. Really.
Brian Shapiro, everybody, Pushing the Limits. Check it out. It's worth your listen. Thanks, everybody. Be brave. Be brave.
Thank you for listening. Remember to listen, follow, and share The Social Contract with Joe Walsh on Apple, Spotify. Plus, don't forget to subscribe to The Social Contract on Substack. This has been The Social Contract with Joe Walsh.